Good afternoon. My name is Janna. Welcome to the Nef Real Estate channel, where we discuss the real estate market in the Emirates and tell you about new and interesting projects. And today I want to talk about three new projects, three new communities in Abu Dhabi, which, in my opinion, will become some of the most popular, in-demand, atmospheric, and unique communities in a few years once they are completed. A bit of analytics about Abu Dhabi. Overall, the market has shown steady growth in 2024. In particular, we see an average price increase of 10% over the past year and an average 5-year growth of 18.5% across the market. And just in the last quarter of 2024, the market showed an average increase of 2.1%, and the price per square foot is now 1,111 dirhams. Villas are showing very good results. We have seen more than 13% growth in 2024. And just in one quarter of 2024, there was a 3.5% increase. And if we compare with prices from 5 years ago, the first quarter of 2020, we see an increase of more than 30%. This is a very significant indicator. Apartments are also showing growth. It's a little different from villas because there are more apartments in terms of quantity, and let's say they sell out faster. Villas are more often bought for personal use, for one's own needs, for family living. Apartments have shown an increase of almost 10% in 2024. And over 5 years, they've also grown by 11%. And we see that in the fourth quarter of 2024, apartment prices in Abu Dhabi rose by almost 2%. These are average figures. The total transaction volume in 2024 amounted to 27 billion dirhams. This is a very significant growth. This chart shows us the forecast for new project launches on the market, that is both villas and apartments. Of course, there are more apartments. And by 2029, this many more units will enter the market. Overall, probably around 10 to 12,000 villa units and a large number of apartments. There is demand for villas because the villas currently available on the market are mostly those that were built several years ago. Now, of course, the approach is a bit different and more modern, more spacious villas are coming onto the market. In general, there is a trend now where developers are building more spacious housing. Even apartments are noticeably larger in size. Now, I'll also explain this using the example of these three projects. And that's why, of course, there will be strong demand for spacious modern villas with good layouts and a higher level of finishing. And we expect there will be high demand for these villas. Even in the quantities in which they will be coming onto the market, they will still all be in demand. We are also seeing an increase in the volume of transactions, but compared to 2018, the most popular and successful year for the Abu Dhabi real estate market, the transaction volume still hasn't reached the level of 2018. However, the volume of transactions is growing in part because projects like the ones I'm about to tell you about are coming onto the market. The first quarter of 2025 showed us that over 28,000 transactions were completed in just the first quarter, which is an increase of almost a quarter compared to the first quarter of 2024. And the total volume has already reached 96 billion dirhams just for 2025 alone. Foreign investors are very active in the market. We see that a very large amount, almost 8 billion dirhams from foreign investors, has entered the market, which in fact comes from about 2,300 investors from more than 100 countries. In the past year, 38 new projects were launched and 12 projects have already entered the market as completed. That is, they're already in operation and accordingly people have already moved in and are living in these projects. I want to say that the three projects I have chosen stand out precisely because of this new trend toward more eco-friendly living, toward a lifestyle more connected with health and well-being. In other words, the projects are designed to provide better comfort for living, especially in this kind of climate. And I believe that these three projects stand out precisely because of their high standards of living and high standards of construction. They offer amazing opportunities for living with a very rich infrastructure. So let's discuss these projects in more detail. So what are these three communities? I want to start with the Jacob & Co project, Beachfront Living Lahana. This is an amazing project that truly excites me. It's a branded community in the Gantut area between Dubai and Abu Dhabi, branded by the famous jewelry and watch brand Jacob & Co. This is one of those rare cases where everything comes together in a single project. Stunning nature, prestige, the brand, the location, the resort feel, a beautiful sea, and a prime beachfront position. In other words, everything in this project is perfect. Honestly, I don't see any downsides here. First of all, let's talk about the location. The project is situated right halfway between Dubai and Abu Dhabi, approximately equidistant from both capitals, and is surrounded by a nature reserve inhabited by gazelles, deer, and squirrels. So these are the kinds of animals that will be your neighbors. place. There's also the old palace of Sheikh Zayed located here. In other words, this is a historically and culturally significant place for the Emirates because it was in this palace that the decision to unite the Emirates was made, which is quite symbolic and also adds a certain value to this project. The sea here is stunning, very clean and turquoise. The beach here has fine white sand. Everything you need for a comfortable life is here. There's a lagoon that curves around the Al Jurf project and also opens out to the sea on the other side. This means that the water isn't stagnant. The water will circulate and always stay fresh. And the lagoon is suitable for swimming. And I should note that villas are located right along the lagoon here. And each of these villas will have its own small stretch of beach, meaning you'll have the opportunity to access your own private beach. The bridges you see here will connect the two sides, or rather the two parts of this project, and you'll be able to get around the development both on foot and by golf cart. And this kind of life on the water, on the canal, creates a somewhat European, almost Venetian atmosphere. What kinds of units and in general, what does the project offer? As I mentioned earlier, there are villas here, villas ranging from 3 to 7 bedrooms, as well as mansions on the front line here, and several large mansions right here next to the residences. There are 2 residences in the shape of the letters J and C, representing Jacob and Co. There will also be a private beach for the residents of the project. There will be a retail area here with restaurants and cafes. There will also be various leisure opportunities here, including a sports ground and a swimming pool. It is also important to note that the project will offer a high level of service and premium finishes from the Jacob and Co brand. That means the interiors and the lobby will all feature exclusive finishes. There will also be a private lounge and a sort of beach club, both under the Jacob and Co brand. There will be a cigar room, a wine bar, and it will have a sea view, which will also give the project a certain status and provide an opportunity to relax, meet there, or hold a business or private meeting. The project also includes a spa complex with a Russian Banya, which is very important to note since this is quite rare in the Emirates. Most places only have saunas, but here there will be an authentic Russian Banya. Moreover, the Banya will be from a very well-known brand. For now, I'm keeping that a secret. There will be a retail area with small boutiques and restaurants, and the design is also worth mentioning. As I already mentioned, it features premium design with the use of natural materials, stone and wood. There will be a smart home system and various energy-saving solutions. The large panoramic windows, for example, will be made of special glass that doesn't heat up, which is very important in such a hot climate. And ultimately, this project will be a place you'll always want to come back to. Because even now, from what I personally observe when I visit this project at their sales center, right now, construction has just started and the sales center is still there. You can simply come there to have a coffee, sit down, look at the sea, enjoy the sunset, spend time with your loved ones, or take some photos. So even now, when construction is underway and there's nothing there yet, it's already attracting people. People enjoy coming there and spending time. I am more than sure that when the project is completed, many people will come and think, oh, why didn't I buy anything here earlier when everything was at launch prices, at the initial prices? That's why you have the opportunity to get into this project right now, because there are still some units available. That's why I'm confident that this project will become a truly atmospheric, attractive, private, and prestigious place for both relaxation and living. What kind of surroundings does this project offer, besides the infrastructure I've already mentioned? And right next to it is an artificial island where the famous wellness clinic Shah is being built. This is a Spanish clinic considered one of the most prestigious luxury brands in this business. And at the moment, they also have another clinic in Mexico. And now the third clinic they are opening in the Middle East is here in Abu Dhabi, in the Gantut area, specifically on this artificial island. Their concept is that there can only be one clinic per region, and they choose a special location with unique nature, where there is a combination of untouched natural surroundings, pristine sea, and an environmentally friendly setting. So that's exactly why they chose this area. Plus, the nearby area, the adjacent Al Jurf project, offers all the necessary infrastructure. There will be a mall, an international school, a kindergarten, a clinic, and all kinds of sports facilities. So residents of this project will also have the opportunity to use this infrastructure. And accordingly, you can easily get to the clinic either on foot or by golf cart. It's also worth noting that the project is located very close to a new business district that's currently under construction. This is the city, and in a few years, there will be a new business quarter there with offices of major international companies. And of course, the new Al Maktoum Airport is also located nearby, which will soon replace DXB Airport. By 2030, it will be the largest airport in the world. In fact, all flights will be transferred there. Accordingly, residents of this project will be able to reach Al Maktoum Airport in just about 25 minutes. Overall, it's very convenient. In addition, I should note that the Etihad Railway will also pass not far from this project. That is, one of the lines will go there, which is also overall very convenient for future residents. Now, about the prices. When the project was launched for sale, the prices were as follows. Apartments, meaning studios, started from 1.3 million dirhams, and villas, starting from 3 bedrooms, started from 13 million. At the moment, there are still some apartments available, and I should note that right now, in August 2025, you have the opportunity to purchase certain apartments at special summer prices. So please feel free to contact us. You will find all the contact information below. And there is also 1 or 2 villas left. In particular, there is a 6-bedroom villa on the canal. So you also have the opportunity to buy such a villa by the water. Construction completion is scheduled for mid-2028, and we expect that prices for this project will increase by 20 to 30% by the time it is finished. And in fact, I am confident that the demand for rentals will also be high, thanks to all the surroundings there, including the clinics, the neighborhood itself, the level of the project, and its concept. And that's why I'm confident that this project will be of interest to investors as well. And in fact, it is already attracting investors. We have already had clients who bought specifically as an investment, as well as those who bought for themselves. Branded residences in general are a category of real estate that is always in demand here. And there are excellent statistics on how prices for branded residences have changed. They always go up, and not just in the Emirates, but actually all over the world. And many people really appreciate the service, the level of service, the quality of the finishes, and the prestige of the brand itself, right? And having the opportunity, it's a kind of prestige to say that you live not just in some project, but specifically in a branded project. And again, everything mentioned above, the location, the project concept, all of that also adds extra value to the project. And in the long term, say over 5 years, there will be both price growth and the opportunity to earn a steady income from renting it out. And overall, it's not just housing, it's a status symbol, it's aesthetics, it's the chance to live in nature, the chance to live by the sea. And it's an asset that will be desirable for decades and will always be in demand. So the next project I want to talk about, which I also believe will become one of the most popular and sought after communities in a few years when the project is completed, is the Bain by Aura project. Aura is a well-known large developer with projects all over the world. And in particular, one of their well-known projects is the Ayia Napa Marina project in Cyprus, which I personally know well. I was there when the project hadn't been built yet, when there was basically nothing there at all. And now the project is already up and running, and in general, it is very popular. And in fact, this is the developer's first project in the Emirates, and it's an amazing project. I really like this concept because it's such a diversified community that includes a wide variety of housing formats. That is, there are apartments, townhouses, and villas, and at the same time, it's a community that will also have all the necessary infrastructure. At the same time, it's located very close to Dubai, so this project is even closer to Dubai, not far from Palm Jebel Ali, and this project is also located on the first line. Let's take a look at its layout. Here, this is the project. So in this direction is Palm Jebel Ali, and in that direction, about 20 minutes away by car, is the Ohana project that I mentioned earlier. So what makes it attractive? It's about a certain lifestyle because the developer pays a lot of attention specifically to environmental friendliness and comfortable living within the project. In particular, more than half of the territory will be dedicated to green spaces, which is of course very important in a climate like that of the Emirates. That is, trees provide shade, they create a microclimate, and the temperature actually becomes a bit lower than in the surrounding area. Because trees create this kind of microclimate, it will give you the feeling of being at a resort, while at the same time living permanently by the sea in a very green, eco-friendly and welcoming community. There will be an excellent beach here, 1 or 2 kilometers long, and it will be exclusively for the residents of this project. Of course, there will be a promenade, bike paths, jogging tracks, and various cafes and restaurants, both on the shore and within the community itself. And this will be a very convenient option for living. What else exactly does this particular project include? In this area, there will be mansions with 6 or 7 bedrooms. Large mansions, the most prestigious, the most elite part of the project. The first phase was launched in the spring. Here, there are mainly villas and townhouses with 3 or 4 bedrooms, and villas with 4 or 5 bedrooms. In the future, or rather very soon, the next phases will be released. This part is more commercial. Here, there will be a 5-star hotel, various retail areas, shops, a mall, some restaurants, and so on. There will also be a marina here. So, this part of the lagoon will be navigable, and you'll be able to take a small boat out to the sea from here. In this area, there will be a business park. So basically, you won't have to go far. You can rent or buy an office right in this part of the project and run your business while staying very close to your home. There will be many different sports grounds, as well as a sports club, a water sports club, and a medical center. And this lagoon will be intended for recreation, for residents, and for swimming. In this area, there will be the sports club and the mall. So everything will be as usual here, just like they typically build these kinds of communities with all the necessary infrastructure. It is also worth noting that a lot of attention will be paid to the environmental sustainability of this project. That is, there will be solar panels for energy generation, and local fruits and vegetables will be grown here. There will also be modern waste disposal and water purification systems. The project is also designed so that each unit has the maximum opportunity to receive daylight and ventilation between the buildings, meaning that air can flow freely, creating a breeze to improve the microclimate. This is what the project will look like. So there will be a commercial area as well as villas and townhouses. The quality is very good. Everything will also be in light tones, and there will be an option to choose the shade of the finishes. Modern, bright interiors with natural materials and a soft color palette. Everything is very well thought out down to the details. Lighting, ventilation, privacy, everything in general is very well designed. Prices. As for the prices, at launch they started from 2.8 million dirhams for a townhouse. Accordingly, at this point, all units in the first phase have been sold. Contact us and we will prepare for the next launches so you have the opportunity to get something in this project. For example, the apartments have not yet gone on sale, and there will also be more townhouses and villas. They are in extremely high demand, so it's essential to be prepared, and we will help you get the unit you want there. Completion is planned for the end of 2028 or the beginning of 2029. And another thing to note is that there are about 9,000 real estate units in total, including villas, townhouses, apartments, and mansions. So please feel free to contact us. All our contact information is listed below this video. We will be happy to help you get a unit for yourself or as an investment. Again, I want to point out that this is also one of those projects that will attract residents and draw people in for many years to come. And it's also a very interesting product for investors, since I'm also confident that prices will increase by 20 to 30% by 2030, right around the time of completion. Because modern communities like this, with a contemporary approach to organizing space and modern standards for sustainability and construction, will always be in demand. At the same time, there is a wide variety of property types here, or rather types of buildings, so there are options for different budgets and different investors. So please feel free to reach out. I'll be happy to tell you more, provide details, and offer some specific options. And the third project I want to draw your attention to is Fahid Island. This is a new project from Abu Dhabi's largest developer, Aldar, and it's a new premium community. This project is unique. It differs from the previous two in that it is located right in the city of Abu Dhabi itself. That is, it's literally about 20 minutes drive from the city center, and it's located between two popular destinations in Abu Dhabi, Yas Island and Saadiyat Island. Here's the road. We're driving like this from Yas to Saadiyat. So the island is located right in the middle. The project is massive, covering 2.7 million square meters, and a third of this area will be green spaces. And as you can see from this project, from the project site, you can see the skyline, the panoramic view of Abu Dhabi. The project will include both a seafront shoreline and, on the other side, a shoreline with mangrove thickets, a mangrove forest. What will this project include? The first phase included residences on the front line. These are the residences, the first and second lines. There is also a beach running along the residences, stretching 11 kilometers with a promenade. There will, of course, be plenty of cafes, restaurants, galleries, and various spaces like sports grounds. There will be a beach club here and a water sports center. This is the section of residences that was released for sale recently in the spring. Everything there is already sold out. The project is extremely popular. The project's infrastructure will include a concert hall for various cultural and business events. There will also be a marina here, as well as many different green areas, parks, and squares. And there will be an international school. Well, most likely there will also be artificial islands here, but that's a matter for the near future. So let's take a closer look at the overall concept of the project. The project is the first certified project for sustainability and health. As I already mentioned, there will be many green areas here, plenty of walking paths for pedestrians and cyclists, 15 kilometers of pedestrian roads, 10 kilometers of running tracks, and several routes for cyclists. It is important to note that conditions will be created for both pedestrians and cyclists. There will be canopies here. These canopies, in fact, you can already see now in Abu Dhabi. And here as well, there will be canopies to create a more pleasant microclimate so people can shelter from the sun. There will be 11 kilometers of coastline and 100,000 square meters of beaches. The project is planned to be completed at the end of 29th year, or more likely, the beginning of the 30th year. The project includes 6,000 units. These are apartments, villas, townhouses, and super premium mansions, large villas. This is what the project will look like. Aldar will make it very eco-friendly using natural materials. Again, the environment will be very pleasant for living, and the layout is also designed so that people can spend as much time outdoors as possible. And to create more of a microclimate here with more greenery and coolness. And again, Aldar offers two color schemes. That is, the finishes will be available in lighter tones and in darker tones. There will be panoramic windows with stunning views. And let's talk in more detail about the project's infrastructure. As I already mentioned, there will be a promenade along the sea with many different cafes, restaurants, and art galleries. There will be a boulevard with cafes, a ballet school, and various shops and outlets, and of course, a large mall. Also within the community, King's College Wimbledon will open a school, and there will be a campus for this school, which is set to open in September 2028. There will be various infrastructure, swimming pools, and a fitness center, as well as different spa and yoga centers and sports grounds. There will be plenty of different playgrounds for children, and there will also be a kindergarten in this community. And also, of course, it is located very close to Abu Dhabi Airport, and it will also be convenient to get to, if needed, the airport in Dubai. And of course, it's literally a 5-minute drive to Yas Island with its entertainment infrastructure and theme parks. And it's also 5 minutes to Abu Dhabi's prestigious cultural cluster. This is Saadiyat Island. The Sheikh Zayed Museum will be opening there soon. More museums will open later, and there is a stunningly beautiful beach. So in general, everything is very close by. The project's architecture features modern facades and well-thought-out ergonomics. There will be no high-rise buildings here. Here, there will be low-rise development to preserve the balance and harmony between nature and housing. Yes, so the residences will be an integral part of the entire landscape. It's also worth noting that there will be a 5-star resort here with a hotel and branded villa residences. So it will not only be a residential area, but also a place for those who come to relax. There will also be a 5-star hotel, as well as branded villa residences. Another important point is that a fairly popular road runs along this island, which connects Yas and Saadiyat and is quite actively used. This busy road will be reconstructed and will become, let's say, more environmentally friendly. Trees will be planted here, there will be noise barriers, and accordingly, this road will also blend into the community and simply become a part of it, rather than some kind of foreign element. So that's also important to note. Well, to summarize once again, what makes this project unique? This is a new, very modern, eco-friendly community focused on a wellness environment, on a wellness concept. At the same time, it is located very close to the city center. In other words, all the main attractions and key points of interest in Abu Dhabi are within very short distances. As I mentioned, all the necessary infrastructure will be here, including, for example, a British school. But again, all residents of this project have access to any other schools, for example, those located in the center of Abu Dhabi or in other districts of Abu Dhabi. Convenient layouts. The minimum area of a one-bedroom apartment is 87 square meters, which reflects the current trend of developers building larger apartments. This generally improves quality of life as you have more living space. And of course, top architectural and design firms were used specifically for the finishing and the architecture of the project itself. We are expecting the next phases of apartments, flats, and townhouses. So we encourage you to contact us and let us know what you would like to purchase so we can prepare for the new launches. And of course, this is an amazing product for investors because, as I already mentioned, it's a well-known major developer with high construction quality, a vast portfolio, and an impeccable reputation. It's also about the location, the quality of construction, the structure, and the overall concept of the project. And again, there are different types of properties for different budgets and for various purposes, yes. So over the next 5 to 6 years, when the project is completed, we also expect a significant price increase and the opportunity to profit from this growth, as well as the potential to earn rental income if that's part of your strategy. And it has a unique location. Overall, Abu Dhabi is also becoming one of the main places to live. It is calmer, more comfortable for living, and has low-rise buildings. So these new projects bring new value to this market. So these are the 3 projects that, in my opinion, represent the communities of the future. They will be completed soon, starting from 2028. So I'll be happy to answer your questions, provide more detailed information, or help you find the right option if you're looking for something for yourself or for investment. You can see our contact information on the screen. I'll be happy to help. My name is Janna, and I look forward to seeing you on our channel and introducing you to new projects.